How you doing, Facebook land? It's Dr. Coleman here at the doctor's office. We're going to give you the next installment and the medication that you need to get through your day. We're going to go ahead and talk about these irresponsible men out here, not my real brothers that are out here handling their business, that's going to work and taking care of their family. We're talking about these brothers that need to be talked about. We're talking about when you break up with your man, with your woman, that don't mean you break up with your kids. So we're going to go on, we're going to talk about brothers not taking care of their families and not paying child support. We're going to bring up Dr. Neckups, and that's what we're going to talk about. Dr. Neckups, come on up.
How you doing, Dr. Coleman?
Good. How you doing? Have a seat. Here in the doctor's office with Dr. Neckups and Dr. Coleman. I was go ahead talking to the audience, the Facebook audience, our followers. We were talking about how irresponsible men, and how they basically break up with their girl, and when they break up with their girl, it feel like they break up with their kids, and then all of a sudden they can't do anything for their kids. They don't pay child support. How do you feel about a man like that, or can I call him a man?
That subject is pretty touchy. You know, it goes both ways because there's a lot of circumstances with a lot of those situations. Sometimes women get a little crazy, and you know, you can't see the kid anymore. But in most cases, men just don't want to deal with the kids anymore because they can't deal with their moms anymore.
Well, let's not talk about those. Let's not talk about the ones, because we'll get to that in a minute, about the women that are just vindictive and don't want their... We'll talk about that on a different Dr. Coleman. But right now, we're talking about those men where those women want that man in their life, and they just a man in their kid's life, but they just don't want to do it because they're not with the mother. Because I've talked to many women that say, if I'm having sex with that man, he will come and provide for that child. But once I cut sex off, he doesn't want to come around. What do you feel on that?
Now that's just whack. Now, and if any woman will deal with a man like that, you have to be crazy too. That's just ludicrous. I mean, you have to have sex with their mom for you to even provide for the kid. I don't even have any words for that. I've never.
And see, my thing, it makes it bad for the individuals that take care of their kids out here. They give a bad name to these real men, because just because you break up with them, you still provide for your kids, regardless of what the mother say. We're the head, not the tail. God made us to lead, not to follow. So even if that mother says, no, you can't see the kid, there's other obstacles around that. You can get to see your kid. That's what it's called, the legal system. You'll go buy new rims for your car, go get you an attorney.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Or even go to the school and visit them during school hours. There's no law saying that you can't go and sit in class with your kids.
But like I said, on Dr. Coleman, we keep it real. I'm not bashing these men because I want y'all to get better. And the ladies out here, I want y'all to get better, but we have to talk about this. Let's stop tippy-toeing and walking on eggshells when we're talking about these situations, because it's so what the loss and the loser in this whole thing is the children. They're losing. So now that kid is going, if it's a young man, is going to grow up and have that same mentality his father had. So he's not going to be around. Right. And the cycle is going to continue, and that young lady is going to think it's okay for the man not to be there. That's why we got these quote-unquote all these independent women, which is wonderful, but sometimes a man is supposed to be there. God made man and woman for man,
right? Not
to be independent. So going back to what I was saying, irresponsible men, it's just unacceptable for these men to be so irresponsible. And I don't want to even call them men. I call them posers, because it's men like that we know out here that's great men that we can look up to, like President Obama, etc., etc. And we don't look up to those individuals. We look up to the dope dealers on the block that I have no respect for, because you tearing down your own community.
And that's a good statement. A lot of times, though, I just think men had those kids and they really didn't want the kids. They really had them to keep that woman.
Right. I think that's the truth.
And that kind of comes where it comes into play to where, okay, if I can't have sex with you, then I don't want to deal with the kids. And that's not right. You know, still go get your kids, even if you can't have sex with her. And then a lot of these guys are taking it a step further, and if a good guy comes in the picture and wants to help take care of your kids, he's upset with that guy.
And that's what I was about to say. I'm glad you brought that up.
He's upset with that guy.
This is just a scenario that I heard. This is the mother calling the father. Hey, I think I need you to pick up so-and-so. Well, ain't you mess with old boy? Tell him to buy it. Why would a man, as a man, why would you want another man taking care of what you produced and what came out of you to her? You know, and why would you want another man taking your son to get his hair cut? Why would you want another man taking your daughter to the father-daughter dance when you're in the same city and you're right there? Kind of explains and talk about that a little bit.
I mean, I just think that comes from maybe that man didn't have a father figure when he was growing up. You know, everything trickles down from just certain behaviors. Now, everybody doesn't have a strong mind to comprehend and do the right thing.
I'm understanding that, but when are we gonna stop letting that be an excuse? I am so sick of these, because I was that guy for a minute, but I snapped out of it. I understood that I have to take care of my children.
Right.
So we can't keep using this as an excuse, I am sick of excuses. That's what's holding our whole race down, is excuses. Because every time you look at, oh, I can't do it because my father wasn't there. Okay, my father was in prison, so what? Okay. When are we going to stop using those as excuses and man up?
Maybe once they see these segments.
Hopefully.
You know, because I myself, I had a spell. It wasn't anything like that, because I'm never going to use a child, you know what I mean, and use sex to deal with my children. But, you know, I had a situation where I had a child and I didn't know I had that child until she was 4.
Right.
You know, so when I did start dealing with the child, you know, situations got kind of bad, so I had to step back. But I still paid child support.
Right.
You know, so every situation is different, but, you know, I learned from it and we've moved on and things are getting better.
Yeah, like I said, every situation is definitely different, and I'm not here to judge by no means, form, or fashion. But the excuses are starting to pile up, and then by the time you want to come around, you know, that kid is 11 or 12 years old and don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm trying to avoid, and that's all I'm trying to say here is just like you can't break up with the girl and then think that the kid is just you breaking up with them too. And I hear a lot of times that's what end up happening. But then the thing that really mind boggles me and blows my mind is that you'll break up with that individual and then go and take care of the other new woman's girl and their kids.
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
Right.
You'll be a great man.
But you got to understand it, because if he won't deal with your kids because you're not having sex with him, of course he's going to deal with her kids because he's having sex with her. So sex is the motivation for some men to deal with kids.
That's
kind of psycho-ish.
Yeah, that's something that we really need to get some type of counseling and some kind of help on, because it's not about that. Sex is not everything. I know that it feels great, but when it comes to these kids, you have to man up. And if you don't want any kids, wear a condom or have some kind of birth control. I don't know, but we can't keep letting these women hold the bag, because that's what end up happening. That's why it is a lot of women that end up being bitter towards men, because of what happened to them. And we're trying. I mean, it's not right that a woman is bitter, but then I understand. Like, I mean, you coming in and this woman is giving you all she got for this child, and then all of a sudden you breaking up for whatever reason, because cheating happened, lying happened, not just on the man's part, on the female's part as well.
Right.
But that happens, and then you stuck with the baby. You stuck up at night. You crying yourself to sleep, and this guy's out with the new woman, impregnate her, and he up taking their kids to school and making sure their kids eat. But the cycle gonna continue, because once that woman, and something happened with that woman, he gonna start doing that with her.
Right.
So I don't know. This is gonna be a continuing segment right here. This is just the first part of Irresponsible Men that we trying to make better. So if y'all watching this segment, don't take it as a kidney punch or a stomach punch. We're not doing that. We're trying to see if you're going to get better. I had to get better. He had to get better. So we want you guys to get better as well.
And by no means are we saying we're perfect and that we have it, you know, mastered or anything, because we still go through trials and tribulations with our children and with our children's moms. So, you know, we here to help, you know, and hopefully y'all will help us too.
Right, and that's what we need. That's what we need, questions and comments there, because we need to grow. So, Dr. Dacos, thank you for coming on.
No problem, Dr.
I hope we're going to continue this conversation.
Okay.
And we'll have you back soon. Like I said, everybody, it's not that we're bashing anybody by no form or fashion, but we have to talk about these issues that is killing our own community. And that is one thing, that the fatherless homes. We have to get back in these homes, fathers, including myself. This is Dr. Coleman from the doctor's office. Keep it daily.